Right, hello. This is the YouTube video review of these Philips O'Neill Stretch headphones. I've had these now for about 4 or 5 months. I haven't been using them constantly for some reasons which I'll tell you about now, well in a minute. But first of all I just want to say that I'm not an expert in headphones. I'm just doing this as kind of an average Joe's take on a pair of headphones. First of all I just want to say my reasons for buying these were that I've had a lot of pairs of headphones. I've had Bose, Audio-Technica, I've had all these different kinds of makes. And whilst they sound fantastic and they're great headphones, they're expensive, and they do, if you use them with a portable player, they do tend to start to show wear and tear and potentially not work after about a year's worth of use. And I had a pair of Bose headphones before this pair, and they went wrong within a year, purely because this one is built the same, but in the Bose headphones the wire goes all the way around the top, so as you're adjusting the headphones, the wiring was being stretched and pulled about, and I think it just came apart or lost its connection somewhere along the top headband, so I lost the hearing in my left ear, and it was very difficult to get it to come back unless you got the headrest in just the right position, and so it was just not really suitable at all for portable use. So I'd had enough of wasting money on buying new pairs of very expensive headphones every year. So I decided to do my research and try and find the most robust, reliable pair of headphones I could. And at the same time I'd done that, these had been released, and these are designed especially for that. I mean, that's their selling point. They're called the Stretch because you can just stretch these very, very far and they won't snap. The kind of material it's made from is just superb. It's very, very... it's sort of flexible and yet still quite hard, so it was rigid enough to stay on your head quite nicely. In terms of comfort, it's fantastic, and I have worn these out and about, and they are fantastic. You can just wear them around your neck, and you don't need to worry about them breaking. You don't really even need to get a case for these. You just put them in your bag like this, maybe wind the cable around, and that's all you need because they're just so robustly built. The other thing as well that I like about these is that a lot of pairs of expensive headphones, the cable just goes straight from the earpiece to your player, with no link in between. So if that cable goes, and that's the weakest part of most headphones, then your whole headphone is bust. You can't replace the wire. These are built, I think, with that in mind. So you have a connection point here, right next to one of the earpieces, and you can just take it apart. And then you've got a very small jack left here, which you can, I mean, if you wanted, you could just stick another cable straight out. So if this cable did go wrong on you, you could very easily just replace it. Having said that, this cable is easily the highest quality headphone cable I've ever seen. I mean, it's just so beautifully made. It's got, well, like I say, on this side it's got a particularly made part here so that it comes apart when it's pulled with too much force. So that if you see the videos on their official website, they advertise these as being for people that like extreme sports, and there's a guy that's snowboarding, I think. So the idea, I think, is that if it was getting like snagged on something, it would pull apart and it wouldn't damage your player or your headphones. It would this would be like a kind of like, like you get on dog tags, like if you pull them, they'll come apart at the weak link on purpose to stop you from being damaged. These are kind of the same thing. The other thing as well, the actual cable itself, this isn't rubber, this is like a kind of string. I don't know exactly what it's made from. It's kind of material, but it just feels really solid, and you will not be able to tangle this very easily, and it's just a beautifully made piece of cable. On this side too, I mean, again, it's just solid metal with a gold connector, and it does the job fantastically. The other good points are that the headphones, they sound fine. I mean, they're very good for, considering the fact that they're meant to be kind of sacrificing the sound so that you have a more robust pair of headphones. They still sound fine. The bass is quite heavy, so if you like a lot of bass, this will be fine. They do tend to be a bit overbearing sometimes with the bass, but with my taste in music, where there is a lot of bass, it suits it fine. Also, with a bit of tweaking of the EQ, it's fine. Right, now having said that, I have to say that the whole reason why I made this video is because there are a few things I want to warn people about with this pair of headphones that I wasn't aware of when I bought these. Now, as I've said, I'm not really an expert on headphones, on amps, and on players and everything like this, so I was not aware of this. But I mean, I only when I'm out and about, I just use an iPod Nano. And the thing is with this is that I think those players are very obviously designed for small headphones, I mean little earbuds ones. Using a pair of headphones like this on an iPod Nano is just going to drown the battery, and it's going to be a huge drain on the battery. And I mean, you're not really going to avoid that, but these in particular are very power hungry. This cable, because it's built in this kind of rugged way, it has such a resistance to the electricity going through it that it takes, I mean, I had to have my Nano at full volume just to get it to be listenable from my taste. So and that of course meant that the battery just lasted for, I mean, literally what, 3 hours perhaps. And when you're out and about, it just was impractical, even though these are ironically quite practical in terms of build. In terms of what they do to your battery, they just don't last. So I had to stop using these as my regular pair of headphones, even though they were good. You know, these are a great pair of headphones. So I wanted to warn people about that. The one thing I will say is that if you do have an iPod Nano or even just a normal iPod and you do find the same kind of problem with these, then it might be fixed through a personal amp. I've ordered one myself because I've only just found out about how they can help to boost the volume and also help to give you, make you be able to wring the maximum amount of juice that you can out of your headphones. I've only just found out really about that, so I've ordered one of those. I haven't got them through yet. But I mean, when they do, I imagine if you use an amp with these might be fine. Similarly, if you use these in a home system, these will be fine. But that's the problem. These require so much power that really, if it's not a home system, if it's a portable player, you're going to need to have a very powerful portable player to really get anything out of these. And a lot of players, in my experience, I mean, with iPods, especially with the EU rules, which means that we can't have a certain volume limit, you're going to be finding that you need to have your player at maximum volume just to get these to sound good. And unfortunately, that just makes them pretty impractical if you like your music and you like to have them a bit loudly, every now and then. So that's the downside. I mean, you can replace, I found that replacing the wire that came out of here with a shorter one, or one that wasn't made from the same kind of robust material, that did help matters. It made it a bit louder. But when you had to do that, I mean, I love the way that this is being built, and it was such a shame for me to have to kind of decrease its ruggedness just so I could hear it. So yeah, that's a bad point. I will say some people have said as well that another bad point of these headphones is that they tend to, I mean, if you can kind of hear that when you're moving around, they kind of, maybe not that bit, but they kind of joggle around a bit, and this particular part here hits against the plastic at the top, giving you that sort of sound as you're walking. I don't agree with that so much. You really need to be running hard or jogging with a lot of jogging up and down to really get that to hit so much that it disrupts your listening experience. So I don't really agree with that so much. All in all, these are exceptionally comfortable actually, and brilliant to wear. They don't get particularly hot because they're quite lightweight. They go around your ears so that you can wear them for hours, and they're fantastic. And also they keep the sound in, they keep the sound out. Yeah, so in terms of comfort, they're fantastic. All in all, I'd recommend these pair of headphones if you have a portable amp. If you don't have a portable amp, then I'm afraid that you're going to find that these headphones just maybe won't. They don't really have a very high volume output, so it will really drain your battery of any portable player that you have if you don't have an amp. And also, you might not be able to get it up to a volume that you like. I mean, I'm quite conservative compared to some of my friends that really like their dubstep up loud. So please bear that in mind. I mean, don't make the same mistake I did. I bought these thinking they'd be perfect, and although they are damn close, they're just not quite right. The fact that they drown out so much volume with their robust build, and the fact that they take the full volume of my Nano to get any sound out at all, just makes them unusable. Anyway, that's been my review of the Philips Stretch. I hope it's been useful for you guys, and thanks for watching.